And we are active, live and direct. Hold on, let me make sure everything is looking clear and crisp because I got an illustrious guest, none other than Coach Reger of the Concord High football team.
Hell
So,
yeah. Thanks for having me, my man.
yeah, nah, for sure, bro. I'm glad you came because I know that you are a very busy man. So the fact that you was able to join me this evening was I'm grateful for that. So just give
My
me one.
pleasure.
Yeah, so just before I act really get into it, just go ahead and just give a brief introduction to yourself. Just let the people know who you are and what you're about.
Okay, yeah. Well, my name is Rick Reger, Coach Reger. I actually, played football at Concord High back in '05. I was part of the team, man, right before the big turnaround for the program. So I'm really happy with all the success that they had. I went on further to compete professionally in mixed martial arts for the last 10 years. So after I wrapped that up, my son was a freshman in high school. I couldn't help it, man. There's just a certain feeling you get when you hit that field in Friday Night Lights, man. I had to get back out there. So it was a great opportunity for me to give back to the kids and back on my old stomping grounds.
Got you. And that was like the perfect introduction. And you said, I mean, we here to talk about mainly about your coaching, but this is just a discussion, you know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about all of it. But we can't just let that go over people's head. You trained and fought professionally in the MMA. Could you speak briefly on that too? Because now I want to dig into that a little bit,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
could you speak on fighting professionally? Because man, that is what they call a blood sport, really a gladiator sport. They say the same thing about football. So you participated in both of them because you touch on the MMA fighting just a little bit more.
Yeah, yeah. So, I grew up playing sports. I've been an athlete my whole life. Um, but mixed martial arts is a complete different animal. I've been in my fair share of scuffles, man, plenty of street fights. So when it came time for action, I felt very comfortable in there. And I started off doing a little bit of jiu-jitsu here and there. I did have a little bit of wrestling experience, and I've been boxing off and on since I was a kid. So everything, all the pieces just fell into place after I walked away from I had an injury in college football I walked away from, and I dove headfirst into mixed martial arts. I started in a really small little hole in the wall gym, ran by Sean Sharkey, great dude from Martinez. I was very blessed to be able to cross train with Caesar Gracie and all the Gracie fighting team.
Hold on, did you say Sean Shirk?
Sean Sharkey. Yeah,
Sharky, okay, okay.
yeah, yeah. So I jumped into that, and honestly, I wanted to pursue boxing more, but with the MMA, man, I just took off. I kept having a lot of success. I was surrounded by great people, and so everything just kind of worked out that way for me.
Yeah, and I know you on daddy duty, so
Yeah, yeah. One second, one second.
yeah, no, it's okay. Yeah, shout out to the coach, you know what I mean? So not only is he coaching the kids on the field, coaching MMA fighters to victory, he's doing the most prestigious job that he could ever imagine, which is being a father, man, because that's really why I'm so cool with this dude and why I really had to reach out with him. Anything I could do to help him and vice versa is because I seen how much of a good dad that he is, and that translates to his coaching as well, but also him as a fighter, you know what I mean? So I know you coach football, but we just having a discussion. So we not
Well,
just gonna fixate on the football because I'm really
yeah,
interested
yeah,
in the MMA because it's not many people that could say that they've trained, because
yeah.
training professionally is one thing, fighting professionally is another thing, and then being able to sustain it, and also while being a family man, that's extremely tough task, bro.
That's the hardest part. It's trying to balance the life out, right? It's very demanding, and fighting. It's not. mixed martial arts, it's not just a sport. There's no off season. You know what I mean? And it's like you got to put in the work, and it's hard because you come to a fork in the road at times where you have to neglect something and you have to prioritize certain things over other things in order to be successful. You have to work to pay bills. You got to take care of your family, and then on top of that, you got to be training to fight. Because it is a very violent. It can be a very violent sport, man, and you can get seriously injured if you're not prepared properly.
Yeah, and this dude is no joke with his training, bro. Because man, you got so many gems to drop and bestow to the people, bro. So I really want to just dig into that just a little bit, bro, because you trained for both sports that are considered gladiator sports. You trained for football very rigorously, and you trained for MMA. Based on you being a very strong, physically fit guy, which training do you think more takes a toll on you, or that you would prefer? I know that they're both very tough, but if you say, yeah, I'd rather do 3 a days on the football field than do grappling and running 20 miles or something, you know what I mean?
Yeah, the MMA training is crazy, bro. Especially the way that we trained. We took a lot of the training approach from wrestling, and different grappling. So for me, it was getting better as fast as I could, right? So every day I was grappling and striking. I'm mixing that up. I'm either doing jiu-jitsu and boxing, or I'm doing Muay Thai and kick, wrestling. But every day I'm sharpening my skills in every aspect of fighting, because that's the thing about MMA. You're not, especially at this point in the game, you're not going to get by on one technique alone. You know what I mean? You have to be a very versatile, well-rounded fighter to have success in this sport, for sure. And you know how the cardio is number one, bro. So you have to fit that cardio in. Worst thing ever, man, is to be standing across the cage from another hungry animal, and you gassed out in just the last round, and that man jumping around crazy, ready for action.
And you know what's ill? What if you know that you better than this person, right? Like, hey, I'm physically stronger than this person, and I may be a little bit more technically sound, but this person, due to their stamina and agility, was able to evade you. And then that last round, doesn't matter what you bench press if you get tired and winded and somebody
Yeah.
catch you. So that stamina is a huge thing. So you would give the edge over and say that the MMA training it's a step above the football training based on your experience.
Yeah, I love football, man. I'm a diehard football guy, man, from day one. But yeah, I would have to be honest about that and say that the MMA training, bro, it's a completely different animal than football.
But it actually it makes sense though, because you got to train and be physically able to go 5 rounds, even go more than 5 rounds. Even if your fight is only 3 rounds or 5 rounds, you need to be prepared to go around 7 or 8 just to even be in the fight. And then you have to spend another time working on your grappling, because I've seen some people be like, I knocked out a bunch of dudes when I grew up. Yeah, but when you get into MMA, I seen a bunch of dudes that you like, this little scrawny dude, he ain't gonna knock nobody out, and then he tap out the knockout artist, he choke him out
real fast too, real effortlessly.
quick.
That's the thing about jiu-jitsu, bro. It's a gentle art, man, and you don't have the advantage being a bigger, stronger guy. You will learn that very quickly when you're going to sleep.
Yeah. So what was you focusing more on the boxing side, the jiu-jitsu, or were you doing all of the combination of the mixes of the martial arts?
Yeah, so I came in as a freestyle fighter. My background, like I said, I boxed here and there, but my real background was just street fight. So me coming into it, I knew that I was going to be up against some stiff competition, and I would have to be a very well-rounded fighter. So I built my schedule around the philosophy of getting better in my striking and my grappling every day. That's what I was saying. So it's like For example, one day I might do jujitsu and boxing. The next day I might, do more of a wrestling and Muay Thai. Try to mix it up. But every day got to get make some progress in the striking and the grappling.
Yeah. So did you? So I know some people take a different approach, right? Some people will say, "Look, man, I know that I got a knockout hand, so I'm just going to continuously strengthen my knockout hand." And some people say, "Look, I already know I got a knockout hand, but my grappling is weak, so I'm going to focus more on my grappling." Are you the type to focus more on your weakness to strengthen it, or do you kind of balance it between your strengths and weaknesses, or like how does that go into your training?
Yeah. So with fighting, you definitely need to play off your strengths and build your weaknesses. Now, with that said, though, it really depends on the opponent because it's really a matter of who's going to expose and capitalize first. Coming into fighting, of course, like I said, I've been in street fights, right? So, and had some boxing. So I wanted to bang it out every time. And actually, one of my fights, one of my early fights, I came out to throw hands and I got caught. Now, fortunately for me, I had some wrestling experience and was able to shoot a double leg, take the dude down, real dip him on his head real quick, and choke him out. But you come in there thinking that I'm this type of fighter, I'm this type of athlete, and then like Mike Tyson said, once you get punched in the face, man, the plan's out the window.
Yeah, he said everybody got a plan until they get hit in the mouth.
Everybody got a plan until they get hit in the mouth, bro. That's the truth. You got to be able to react, regain your composure within seconds, and make decisions. I think that's probably one of the hardest things about MMA is just that there's, I believe they call it dialysis versus paralysis because there's so much going on that you have to focus on, and you have to make these decisions in a quick second. It's not like football where I'm going to get another down or baseball I get another inning. No, you make a mistake in fighting, you're going to wake up in the back. That's how it goes. I always
And
make
that is
you go to sleep fighting one dude and you wake up wrestling Herb Dean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I have seen that, and that's real. And let me just get to the chat because we got none other than Jaden Reger in the building. Shout out to Jaden. And then Intellectual Soapbox says, salute B-Eazy, that dude in the panelists. He says, salute to Coach Reger. So salute to Intellectual Soapbox. And take his advice, like and subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, make sure, because we'll be coming through. This just one of many that we'll be doing. I'm gonna be working with some very prominent, prolific student athletes as well as coaches, fighters, fathers, just like this man here, Coach Reger. And we got Lady E in the building. Shout out to Lady E, the lovely Lady E, knowledge and relationships himself, Mr. M3 in the building. So the chat is coming through heavy, showing love. So they liking what you got to say, bruh. And bro, I've seen this dude, man. Like, this is no gaslighting. This dude is a straight monster, bro. He's, man, like, your strength is unreal, bro. So like, how do you stay motivated? Because bro, sometimes you hit leg day and it hurts just to go to the bathroom, bro.
Oh,
you know
man,
what I mean? You know what I mean? And sometimes you're trying to hold your kid up and you like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How do you still keep going, bro?
That's the tough part, right? Pushing through adversity, especially dealing with injuries. Being an athlete, you're gonna face a lot of injuries and a lot of hardship, a lot of stuff that you're gonna have to overcome. So for me, bro, I just keep that drive that I'm just always gonna make progress, regardless of how much. It's not really measured in how much progress I'm making. It's just more, for me, it's more small steps in the right direction. You know what I mean? So I'm just continuously just trying to better myself as an individual. And for me, weightlifting is a huge part of my life. It's always been very therapeutical for me as well. So that's something that I take very seriously, taking my health, my body. I want to, like, you bring up my kids. You know how I am with my kids, bro. I got to be here for them. So yeah, I take my health very seriously. And weightlifting definitely is very beneficial for that.
Yeah, I know, I agree. So would I know that you are an athlete, but would you consider yourself a bodybuilder, or just an athlete is the more appropriate title? Because brother, the amount of weights you be lifting, you are in the bodybuilding realm. But I think that you
Yeah,
would be more of the athlete because
yeah,
of what you can do. Usually bodybuilders are, that's all they focus on. They eat, sleep, breathe bodybuilding, and that's literally it. They're not working on any type of agility drills. They're not shooting a basketball. They're not doing cuts and running routes. So at this point in your athletic career, are you more still just like a consistent athlete, or are you more towards like the bodybuilder?
no, I think that I will always consider myself a very well-rounded athlete. Like I told you, growing up, man, I played a lot of sports, right? Many sports. And then as I had my children, it was always big for me to be a part of their journey within athletics as well. So like when you check my resume, I didn't, I played all these sports, but I also coached all these sports, man. I've coached girls softball, I've coached baseball, I've coached basketball, all the different fighting styles. And it's just something to me that I feel like I'm always bettering myself. So I would never put myself in a box as one thing. I like to keep it very well rounded, very versatile.
Yeah, and that's why I didn't want to put you in that box either. But I know sometimes people put themselves in that box
Oh,
because
yeah, yeah,
they may start to train competitively. I know one of my friends, he was a scrawny dude, and he just turned it around and he started training, and he actually did become a bodybuilder. I'm talking about the dude was like 140. Next thing, he's jacked, throwing up like 400 plus pounds.
hell yeah. That's
So
awesome, bro. I love to hear that. I love to hear
yeah,
that.
and the chat
I
is.
will say from my experience with like the bodybuilders, I do have a couple homies that bodybuild. The hardest thing about bodybuilding from my perspective, bro, is how much food they gotta eat. That's
Yeah,
wild, bro.
bruh, that's and hold on, let me get to the chat. He says, I like that advice, push through the rough times. So, you definitely
Right.
inspiring people. And Jaden Rieger saying Coach Rieger is the GOAT, man. I gotta agree. And we got none other than Landon Wilson in the building. Shout out to young Landon. Be
Yeah.
Easy and Coach Rieger interview 100. Yeah, bruh. And that's what I was too, bro. Look, I was in the gym, and I was getting stronger, bro. But physically, I wasn't getting bigger, bro. So I would go out there and I would be dominating people physically, and they're like, bro, like,
Yeah.
you don't look this strong. You know what I mean? And
Uh,
then, some people like have like like kind of a slim tone, but they're really like really strong. And then some people are super bulky, visibly strong. You know what I mean?
very true.
And
Very
then
true.
there's some people like you know who Roy Nelson is?
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Big Roy, big country.
big country, big
Yeah.
old pot belly, bro. You like,
Yeah.
this dude is sloppy, bro. If you go try to fight with Roy Nelson,
Hey,
he's gonna knock you out, bro.
you better be able to fight for 30 minutes too, because that
Yeah,
big dog got some cardio in his
stamina.
boy.
And that's what I'm saying. Different stuff. You'll be like, this skinny dude. I'm like, bro, this dude is like pretty strong. And then you
Yeah.
see, man, this fat dude, like, bruh, this dude is more athletic than me. Like Roy Nelson. The stuff, I'm like, oh wow, Roy Nelson is a beast, bruh. So
That's
the
why I never
food,
judge a book by its cover, bro.
me either, man. And that's why I was saying that food is a real thing. So let me dig in on that food for a minute, because
Yeah.
how do you show that discipline to not really have? So actually, let me ask you this, because they say you should give yourself cheat days, right? So they say you're supposed to give yourself cheat days so that you don't overeat and that you don't binge. So you're supposed to be disciplined throughout the week, and then pick the isolated days that you're going to have that food. Now, other people have different methods depending on their metabolism. Some people like, bro, I eat whatever I want, but I just make it back up
Yeah.
with how I work out. What is your philosophy on it?
Well, for the longest time, bro, like during my fighting career, I was always cutting weight and I was always trying to be in peak performance shape. So I really watched what I put in my body. Since I've retired, I have got a little lax on that. But my diet, it's not really a diet. It's more of a lifestyle, bro, because it's just something that I've been doing for so long that it's not hard to do. I eat a lot of meat. I eat a lot of vegetables. And I don't hold myself back small portions. I eat until I'm done. The one thing that I will say, man, I do have a somewhat of a cheat. I'm a big ice cream guy, bro. So I smack down some ice
Oh,
cream.
you going there with it? Okay,
Yeah,
now
yeah,
you got to tell me what
yeah.
flavors, bro. What flavors you
Oh
rocking
man.
with?
So I'm a pretty healthy guy, like I've been saying. So I'll still focus more like on the protein ice creams.
Okay, okay.
The enlightens, the halo tops, the low carb, high protein ice cream. But the thing is, man, I'll be honest. If I crack that thing open, boy, it's done.
It's
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 done.
a wrap.
It's done.
It's
I'm
good.
finishing.
Yeah, yeah. People be like, "Are you gonna save some for later?" Like, no,
Nah,
this is a done this sitting, bro.
I got a whole nother one for later.
Exactly. Yeah, nah, I'm with you on that one, bro. And like you said, it's all about because many people I know they eat what they want to, but they are mindful of their portions, right? So they say, look, if I may not shouldn't be eating this bacon, but I'm not gonna eat a whole pack. I'm gonna have like two strips on my sandwich, right? And then you know what I mean, or I may not shouldn't be having this salad dressing, but I'm gonna just put one little squirt. You know what I mean? So I think once you are able to proportion what you're actually eating, you could eat whatever you want, but you do need to be physically active as well. So
100%.
that's a huge thing. They say that it's more like 80-20, 80% a solid diet, 20% intense workout. So the workout has to be intense though, because sometimes people do that vanity workout where they go and then they just want to see, hey, what's up? You trying to check out the cakes at the gym. You know what I mean? It's like, come on,
See,
bro. Like
so
you're not
so
really
that's
working out.
that's
Speak on it.
yeah, that's never been me, bro. You know, as long as I've been in sports and as long as I've been competing, I take my gym time extremely serious because that's my time. That's time away from my family. So if I'm there, bro, it's just business. Like to be honest, I'm not even the best workout partner, bro, because I'm gonna be very quiet. I'm gonna be very focused, and I'm trying to better myself as quick as I can, and get up out of there, man. That's the
Bro,
goal.
I actually like that. Hey, you could be a good partner with me because I just need you to go and then we gonna branch off.
Yeah, yeah.
Some people are like, here, let's do the exact same thing. You do squats and then you get done and do squats. Like, bro, I did squats yesterday. Like, we just accountability partners.
Uh-huh.
We here to make sure, you know what I mean? Because some people may have a different path, right? You may be trying to cut weight. I may be trying to gain weight. So I have a different workout regimen, right? So we trying to do the same things. You might be on a treadmill. I'm not about to run 5 miles on a treadmill when I know that I need to get leg day in.
You
But
know
we
what I
both
mean?
but we both came to the gym, and the fact that I could look across and see you, that's inspiring to me. We don't need to be doing the same exact workout. So
Yeah,
sometimes, because one of I did have a partner, and he was like, you're not even doing the workout. I'm like, bruh, I'm not about to do the workout that you're doing. We're at the gym together. Let's get it in. You feel me?
yeah, yeah.
We're gonna leave at the same time. You feel me? We have a designated time. We show up, we bang out 2 hours. You feel me?
Yeah. Well, then the other side of it is too is like we working out together. That's cool, but I hope you can match my intensity. You know what I mean? Because I'm not one of them like soft dudes who's just gonna be like, oh, you got it. Nah, nah, nah. I'm going ham in there, so I hope you matching it.
Yeah, no, that's real too. Because one time I went in with one of my boys and I couldn't match his intensity, because usually did he just start throwing plates on plates. I'm like, cuz,
Yeah, boy.
yeah, I'm like, I'm with you, but because he over here throwing up 350 like nothing, I'm like, cuz that, yeah, you feel me? Not quite there yet. You feel me? Maybe three, but you feel me? But I already know you well past that. What are you at on the bench right now?
Uh, I fell off a little bit, man. My best was like 405.
That's pretty beastie, bro. 405 on the bench, bro.
I'm a little under it right now. Probably
Okay.
get like 370.
Okay. Like I said, bro, that's well over three, bro. That's amazing, bro. Salute to you, but
Appreciate
the kiddo loves ice cream too. He says, "Dad, bro, could you DoorDash me a milkshake?"
it. Yeah.
And shout out to Daryl Long. He late on the East Coast. He going to bed, but says salute, man. Good night. Have a great evening, and thank you for
Appreciate you.
tuning in. But yeah, so bruh, nah, I agree with you, bruh, on the working out. But let me just get to a couple of the coach questions, bruh. You know what I mean? And as the other conversation unfolds, I'll ask some other questions. But what inspired you to be a sports coach, and like, how did you get started in that profession?
Okay. So, me growing up, I had a little rough upbringing. Single mom and single mother home. Um, some of my best male role models ended up being my coaches. Those were the guys that you don't know it at the time, but they play a big factor in who you become. They have a big impact on you, who you are as a person. And I've had some really good relationships with these coaches. I mentioned one earlier, Sean Sharkey, great dude, great coach. One of my favorite male role models, man. To be honest. And then another one. Shout out to Brian Hamilton, man. That guy. My senior year, he definitely helped me through some hard times. And that was kind of what it was for me. It started off selfish. I'm not gonna lie. It started off I coached just to be part of my kids' journey. That's really what it was. So I taught myself different sports, different techniques and different drills and stuff, just to be able to spend more time with them and help them better themselves. Um, but as they got older and as I'm getting older, I'm drawn to the football field. I'm drawn to it because of my previous experiences out there and bringing those feelings back. But then also because I know that there's kids out there that were in the same position as that I was in, and they need somebody to step up and be that male role model for them.
Got you. Yeah, no, I would totally agree with that. And like you said, one of the people that was very pivotal in changing things in the direction of your life was a male coach. And I know we don't have enough male teachers out there, so you don't got to be a teach. Well, when people think of teaching, they only think of it in that formal school setting. But as a coach, you are a teacher.
Oh
Coaching
yeah,
is just semantics for teaching. As a father, you're a teacher, so people are teaching in many capacities in their life. So it's like sometimes there's other roles that you can step into, whether it be coaching, mentorship, just volunteering in your community, so that, because like you said, we both come from troubled backgrounds. And once you're able to get kids and let them know that they can truly become something of themselves, it actually helps society. Like sometimes people think it's funny to just go around bullying and saying, "Hey, you know what? You ain't never gonna be nothing. You just a piece of crap."
yeah,
But if that person internalizes that, then they start doing crime and drive-bys and do all this stuff. They're not trying to hear anything you said. You already told them they a piece of crap, so they've internalized that, and they gonna do stuff that crappy people do. So you
yeah,
got to be careful. You can see somebody that's on the brink of being, a piece of crap, and then you can say, "You know what, bro? Here, let me steer you this way," or "I've been down the road before.
yeah,
You don't got to take that path." You know what I mean? But if we just want to say, "I don't care about him," cool. If he comes back and robs you or robs your kid, and I say I don't care about it, I mean, it's just going to be a cycle of people being unsympathetic and insensitive. But it's like we all got to care about each other. You know what I mean? Because when we grew up, we all helped each other. And that's what I like about sports and football specifically, because it brings about camaraderie, right? You have to depend
100%.
on people. And I know you've seen this movie, Remember the Titans.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
One of the
Classic.
greatest classic, one of the
Yeah.
greatest movies ever, not just only a sports movie, but just when you look at the the racial dynamics it was in the heart of like Jim Crow segregation time, and these people that come from sides where they hate each other, they come and look like actually we have a lot more in common than we have uncommon. When we come together, we are a force that's unstoppable. And once
Exactly.
the sooner people figure that out, I think we'll be better off as a society. So coaches, fathers that are making the contributions to society that you are definitely needed. So, I always, gotta tip my hat and show reverence to you. But let
I
me
appreciate
hit you with
that.
another question though. So what coaching philosophy do you follow, if you have one, and how has it evolved over the years? So essentially, because you've been coaching for some years, has your philosophy evolved? Is it the same? What?
Um, it, it, it definitely evolves. It's always evolving. I'm always learning. I'm always growing as a person, as a coach, as an athlete. I think that it's really big to, really important to be able to approach situations differently. And with that, you have to have specific background training to be able to do that. Because the thing is, too, is not every player is coached the same. Okay, and I think that was the hardest part for me because growing up, some of my best coaches were the ones that were tough. They were hard on you, you know. And this day and age, it's a little different. You know, not every player reacts the same to that coaching style, to that philosophy. So I kind of treat my coaching the same way I treat myself as an athlete. I try to be very versatile. I try to be able to touch in different aspects, you know, and try to approach situations accordingly.
Got you. Yeah. And now you have no other choice but to evolve because you might get in trouble, right? You
Yeah,
might get
that's true too.
suspended as a coach. They might try
That's
to
it.
cancel you. But not only that, even if you don't get suspended or canceled or any of that stuff, your message may not resonate or be received with the players. Some people think
Exactly.
like, hey, the way I grew up, coaches would get in your face, almost spit in
Uh-huh.
your face. That will work with some players, and some players you got to choose a different method. It doesn't matter
Exactly.
that if you just yelling to get your point across. What matters is you get your point across and someone understands it, so that you don't got to keep relaying that message over and over. If I'm a coach and I'm saying, hey, look, when you run this route, make sure you cut and then cut out and then cut in. You only supposed to be able to say that a few times, right? If you have to say it every play, and then now you yelling and spit, something that you're doing is
Hmm.
not connecting with the kid. Or maybe you need to
Exactly.
figure out something like that. Do they have a learning disability? Or maybe something, you need to figure that out. You can't just simply, oh, you didn't do this, I'm gonna berate you, and then expect positive results. So you do got to have a bit of patience, be a bit tactful. You need to be aggressively harsh, but you need to be timely with your harshness, right? There's a
Very true.
time that the coach needs to be yelling and, man, what did you do in this play?
Yeah.
But then there's other time like, come on, man, Rick, you know better, bruh. You supposed to go get the
Exactly.
linebacker. That was your man. I
Yeah.
got you, coach. My bad. So it is an art to pick and choose and know which level of aggressiveness you need to approach. And then not only that, sometimes you got to deal with the aggression of other coaches. That's one thing that people don't really want to talk about, right? Like,
That's
you
true.
may be cool with the coach, but at the end of the day, we're men, we're
Yeah.
athletes, a lot of testosterone going. So a
And I
coach may,
expect that.
yeah,
You
I
know,
expect that too.
I expect that in that type of environment where, like you said, you got a lot of testosterone and men around, and not only that, but this is an element of the passion and the competitiveness within us that sometimes will bring that out, or maybe it's misconstrued and wasn't intended that way. It really just depends, but with that said, I definitely agree with you that it really comes down to you being able to approach the situation accordingly.
Absolutely, because sometimes, like you said, it can be misconstrued. So yeah, I may have, out of emotion, I may have like said something and kind of yelled at you, but I didn't mean to come out it that way. Now you can come back at me and yell, and then now we matching each other energy. Or I can say, look, bro, my bad. I didn't really mean for it to come out that way. And as me expecting that, I'll be like, look, bro, we've been cool this time. I know you didn't really mean like that. It's heated. But then if it keeps happening and it becomes a pattern, now it's something different that needs to get addressed. But in the heat of the moment, that's expected. We are competitors. I actually don't mind that. You might get annoyed because, it's like, okay, I'm bickering back and forth, but that shows me that you care just as much as me. You are passionate enough that you don't want to lose. If you don't care, then now it's like, could I really trust you to go,
Exactly.
go in the throes of fire because you don't care? I'm putting blood, sweat, and tears on the line, and here you are just, oh, don't even care about it. So that could pose a conflict, for players and coaches, and it's a more difficult, like psychological dilemma that more people don't really address, you know what I mean? Or they wonder. That's why they talk about team chemistry a lot, right? All of these things go into the chemistry, being on the same page with people, building the camaraderie, being able to trust people, being able to say, hey, look, man, you played horrible this game, and then you don't think that I hate you, right? Because if I
Yeah.
play horrible, I'm gonna be holding myself accountable. If you say you played horrible, you be like, I did. I missed this tackle. I did that, but I'm gonna be better next game. And there's a balance between pointing out the issue and saying, how do we rectify it? We can't just be like, man, come on, Rick, you missed the tackle. You're
Yeah.
horrible. You kept missing the tackle. You're better than that. Why are you? It's like, okay, we've already stated that he missed the tackle and he missed his assignment. Now we need to say, so now we need to do more of these drills. Now we need to watch more
Make the
footage.
correction.
Correct. And sometimes too many people spend times on what this a problem is. If you pose a problem, if you talk about the problem without posing a solution, you're just complaining.
That's
And we're
that's
not
the
in.
number, bro.
Yeah,
That's my biggest pet peeve, bro. Don't tell me about no problems if you ain't part of the solution. Cause I'm gonna fix it. That's my thing, bro. If we got a problem, I'm just gonna aim to fix it. So if you ain't about helping me fix it, exactly, you're just complaining. Sit back.
yeah. And you could apply that to anything. Oh, we got a leaky roof. Do you coach? Do you see the leaky roof, Jaden? Do you see the leaky roof? Look at the leaky roof, bro. Are we gonna patch it up? We know you've told the whole neighborhood that the
Yeah,
roof is leaky.
yeah. Time to do something about it.
Time to do something about it, man. So
Right.
that ideology could go with anything. Man, they're running the ball down our mouths. You know what? Let's time to do something about it. Let's win the
100%.
trenches. Here we got to do this, make the adjustment. Now, it doesn't mean that you're always going to be successful, but you are still making a concerted effort to say that, look, I'm going to change whatever the circumstances is. If I'm losing, I'm not just going to just take this lying on my belly, right? Like I'm
Yeah.
going out with the fight. You
Go
know what I
down
mean?
swinging, baby. Go down swinging.
Exactly. So let me get to the next question. So, how do you balance pushing your athletes to achieve their potential while also keeping them healthy and avoiding burnout? So how do you keep these athletes mentally, physically on point, but also because you've seen it before where
Yeah.
sometimes coaches overwork it and then the player like, I need some water. No, you ain't getting no water, and
Yeah.
and they see it as a sign of weakness. And some players have died because of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Of course, it's not very frequent, but it could happen. And some people
100%.
see it as a way of weakness, right? A dude may have a health condition and actually need water, but he's scared to ask because the coach is going to see me as weak, and I might get benched.
You
So,
know,
so how do you have that balance between
I
pushing them but then keeping them safe and sharp.
I think that's probably one of the harder things for me personally, right? Because of my background and my training, uh, I, I've ran myself into the mud plenty of times and picked myself up and kept going and kept pushing, and I've just I put myself in a place where I became so mentally strong that I'm able to push and adapt. Right now, with these high school players, obviously they're younger men, and a lot of the times they have that pride. They want to prove themselves, and I would kind of rely on the other coaches to dial it back at times. Now I'm a big believer in listening to your body. You know what I mean? And I tell my kids and the football kids, I tell everybody the same thing, man. Are you hurt or are you injured? Because that's what it comes down to. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, you are not more beneficial to us, hurt or injured, or beneficial to yourself, hurt or injured. And ultimately, you're actually hurting the team by putting yourself in a position risking injury. So it's just a thin line, right? Just like everything, it's all about balance, man. You know, I know like with he was on the podcast, he popped up with Jay. I'm really tough on Jay, man. I go really hard on Jay because I feel like I did it, so you can do it. But at the end of the day, you know, these are young men, and you got to speak up for yourself. You know, I don't know. Maybe I don't know that you're going through something. Maybe I don't know that you injured something. It's just about communication. We need to have a relationship where we feel comfortable discussing these things with each other to avoid any issues.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. And it's just like right now, if I say, hey, give me 20 push-ups, you do the 20 and then you stop. And then you have more energy, right? So then I say, give me 30 push-ups, and then you like 30, and then you go and then you stop. You probably really could give me 50, but because I gave you that number of 30, you did the 20, you stopped. You did 30 and stop. Now, if I tell you to do 500 push-ups, you like 500? That's too much. But then even if you fall short, you might fall short and do 300.
Yeah.
You might fall short and do 400. That's
You'll never
more.
know if you don't try.
Correct. You would have stayed doing 50 push-ups, 50 push-ups. But now I said 500, and now you well surpassed 50 push-ups. So now, just by me setting a goal higher, so what happens is people set goal. Right now, if you say, look, man, I want to make $1 million, right? If you fall short of that goal and then you got 300K, 400K, yeah, you didn't make that $1 million goal, but that was nothing to sneeze at. You know what I mean?
Better than where you started.
Correct. And I think people need to take that too. They look at, oh man, you bench pressing 500 pounds. I can't do that. Well, right now you're only bench pressing 150. So if you can add 100 pounds to that, you don't need to worry about if you get to 500. You don't need to worry about that. Could still be your goal, but you're not a failure if you don't reach that, right? Not everybody was destined to bench press 400 pounds. You know what I mean? It's that's just not in the cards. Some people could jump higher. There's some people that could bench press 400 but can't jump like that. Some people could jump like that and bench press that. Some people could do that but are not fast or can't swim. We all have our different abilities, and where our abilities take us, we need to help them take us a bit further. You know what I mean? If you dunking the ball, you know what I mean? You can get higher, right? You could jump a little bit higher, just like you continuously got stronger. Now, at some point, we all will meet father time, but your thing is you're supposed to prolong that. And even when you get up in age, sometimes people get in better shape, and then they'll be in better shape than when people was like, when I was a teenager, bro, I was way stronger than you. And it's like, I'm an old dude now. Like, you should be blowing me out. You know, you see what I'm saying? Like now with some people that logic makes sense. And then some people, it takes them a little bit longer, right? So for instance, Kevin Durant, the dude is like 6'11", but he's just a scrawny dude. When he got into the NBA, he couldn't even bench press 135. Where you know, You see what I'm saying? But then you
Wow.
got people that's what I was saying. I'm like 135, yeah, but you know what I mean? But he's a phenomenal shooter, like easy money sniper from behind there. So he has his strengths, and yeah, he can bench press 135 now. But what I'm saying is, he came in the NBA with grown men not even being able to bench press that,
Yeah.
which means he wasn't able to bench press it in high school or college.
Which, yeah, and that's a good point, bro. I just had a similar talk with Jay about this actually because, he's hungry like me, bro. He's not okay with settling. So where he's at is definitely not where he wants to be. So I have to always kind of remind him, like, look, this is where you were, and this is where we're at, and this is where we're going, and enjoy the whole progress, the whole process in between.
Correct. And then also has to consider that, let's be honest, sophomores are typically playing junior varsity.
Yeah, yeah,
That's just how it is. You know what I mean? Now we can say, oh, I played varsity as a sophomore. Yeah, but that's not always typical. The
yeah,
studs play varsity. What's
yeah,
typically happens is sophomores play junior varsity, and the stud freshmen play junior varsity, and the super studs potentially play varsity. So the fact that he's even playing varsity, he's ahead of many people, not just at his school, in many schools
oh yeah,
across really competitive, prestigious schools. A lot of sophomores don't even get on the field one way, let alone two way. So I do like the hunger, that he seems to be born with, and that you help to instill with him. But yeah, if he's listening on the playback, him, Landon, all the other players, it's like you have to even look at, I'll even go back to the 50 push-ups. You could say 50 push-ups is not a lot. Yeah, but now you're doing 100. You just doubled
right,
your output like that. That's pretty impressive. And then you're not going to stop there. Now you're doing 150. Now you're doing 200. And if you get fixated and compare yourself to somebody that's doing 1,000 push-ups, it will start to discourage you from the actual progress that you made.
yeah,
Sometimes people are making progress faster than they know, but because it's not the progress that they see. And that's why some people got to lay off the social media sometimes, because people put on a facade, right?
oh,
um
100%, bro.
yeah, they're going to show you the best parts of their relationship.
Yeah,
They're going to show you the best things in their life, and a lot of times it's not always true.
well, that's
Someone
the
can
thing, right?
answer.
Like, we can't compare our everyday lives to highlight reels. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? That's just
and
what it comes down to.
hey, and that's good too. Yeah, because it's just like a highlight tape too, like highlight reels, right? You look and you like, man, this player's really good. That's like, well, it is his highlight tape, right?
Yeah, yeah,
That's what a
yeah,
highlight tape is supposed to do. Highlight the good about you and make you look good. But then if you start looking like, damn, he missed that block, damn, he missed this game, or he was injured 6 games, when your
yeah,
best ability is your availability, then now you got to start thinking, because it's not in context, but on the highlight tape, everything looks good, because that's what it's designed to do. You know, on the social media, it seems like, oh, this dude is killing it in the gym, but it's not showing those days that you were so sore that you can barely get out of bed. People
yeah,
not showing those days.
yeah. All the behind the scenes work, bro. That's why it's like, to me, I want to see what you do in the face of adversity. I want to see what we're doing. I want to see how you're reacting and how you're carrying yourself when we're getting blown out the water in this fourth quarter and we don't have no chance and everybody wants to hang it up. How are you reacting then? To me, that shows character.
Correct. And you actually learn more about that individual right then and there. Are you just going to pack it up? Because we're going to be in adverse times like this. We may be in more adverse times than this. And if you can't even handle this, I already know that you're going to fold under even more excruciating pressure. So we do need to be tested. We need to test ourselves, but we need to be tested in these conflict situation, so we can see that,
Yeah,
how a diamond is made under excruciating pressure. People love diamonds, but a diamond is just a pebble. It's
yeah,
just another rock until excruciating pressure is bare upon it, then all of a sudden you got this shiny coveted rock. That's what you are. You know what I mean? You're just this pebble until you go into the gym and you do maximum output. You are reading running routes, you are watching film. Now you've turned yourself into a proverbial football, basketball, sports coaching diamond.
Yeah.
But it took that pressure for you to do that. You know what I mean?
That's why I think it's better to be in love with the journey instead of just the end result.
Absolutely. And there's a
Everybody,
saying,
like you said, everybody loves diamonds, but not everybody loves that pressure.
yeah. And what do you got to do to diamonds? You got to dig, you got to mine, right? You got to do a whole bunch of stuff. You got to get messy, dirty. Nobody wants to do any of that stuff. Even to people like, man, I like, man, you got muscles, you got the guns, you got six pack. They like that, but they don't like what it takes to get that.
Get your ass up at 5 in the morning and hit them weights, baby.
Yeah. And look, bro, the wolf that's coming up the hill is always hungrier than the wolf that's on top of the hill.
Very true.
You sitting at the top of the hill and just thinking, I'm a wolf, man. I'm eating, you feel me? I'm eating pretty. Yeah, but I'm way hungrier than you. I want what you have. You got comfortable. And I'm coming for your spot. And that's what happens. People be like, I've already made it to the top. This the thing. You know about this fighting in MMA or doing any type of sports. The Warriors currently are the champs right now.
Yeah.
But if the Lakers win tomorrow, they are going to beat the champs. You know what I mean? So we're going to see who is a bit hungrier. But what I'm saying is, once you are the champ, you don't just remain the champ. They got to go and defend them being the champ. If you look at Bones Jones got to get in the ring. He's the champ, but he has to keep winning. Adesanya went in there. He was the champ. He fought the dude, got knocked out, came back, knocked him out. Now he's the champ.
Exactly.
Fighting for that title, it's an ever-going process. So some people just think, hey, I'm at the top of the hill. I'm the champ. Yeah, but there's somebody else waiting for you, bro. Like, they're waiting for you to slip. They're waiting for you to say, oh, yeah, man, you've been eating too many donuts. Oh, yeah, you ain't hit the gym in 2 weeks. There's somebody. Yeah.
Go ahead. Cool. You're tired. Take a day off.
Exactly. And then some people will be figuring out, oh, how I lost. It was rigged. It was the refs. No, they may have had a contribution, but it ultimately was you. You lost the fire in your belly. You feel me? Because you had enough fire and ability to overcome all the obstacles. But now you succumb to the obstacles and now you want to blame them. The obstacles is going to be there regardless, right? You play a game. Come on, bro. Not all the refs is going to be fair. Not all the field conditions is going to be right.
That's why we always say don't leave it in the hands of the judges, bro. Finish the fight so you don't have to worry about the scorecards.
And that's what you're supposed to do. Yeah. And since we coming up on the hour mark, I'm going to just ask you one more question before we depart. So this one should be a good one. How do you manage conflicts or disagreements between athletes on the team? And what steps do you take to resolve those issues?
That's a good one. That's a good one. It's one of those things like we were talking about before within the coaches, right? There's a lot of testosterone. It's a lot of high intensity, a lot of energy between the guys. Fortunately for me, man, we really haven't had too many crazy conflicts to where we had to intervene. There's been, a couple little scuffles here and there. But I really think that the best thing to do in that case is to take all involved parties and put them in a position where they need each other. Put them in a position where they're in a situation that they have to use each other to get out of that situation. It's not necessarily just punish one or the other, because it's not, that's a temporary lesson, right? And sometimes that goes over our head. But more than that, we'll use the sled, right? The 5-man sled, for instance. We got 2 guys that want to knuckle it up. Okay, well then how about one of you guys push that sled? But if that one kid can't push that sled 10 yards, the other one got to do the 100 push-ups. right? And then vice versa. Now, what's that going to do? That's going to focus. That's going to make them focus on helping each other and using that teamwork, right? Because sometimes we forget that we get in our head, we get prideful, and we forget that we do need other people to bring out the best in us. And I think that something like that is more of a way of helping them get out of that uncomfortable zone that they're in, and then using the teamwork to build and make progress and better themselves at the same time.
Yeah, no, I thought that was like a great answer because it's true. You guys want to fight each other, but what I need to have you guys come to the realization that you actually need each other and you're better when you help each other
Yeah,
because you're going to be stronger together. I tell people all the time, look, individually, we're just fingers, but when
yeah,
we come together, then we're the fist. You don't see people getting knocked out by pinky fingers and middle fingers, but you have seen somebody ball a fist and knock somebody out. So let's come together and be a fist and continuously deliver a knockout blow, you know what I mean, to our opponents. Because I'm
right,
not your opponent, you know what I mean? And sometimes that's what it is like we'll have that competitive fire, but it will be aimed at the coaches or aimed at your players. Like, no, keep that same energy, but redirect it, because
yeah,
sometimes that's all it is misdirected energy and vitriol, right? We don't want you to tamp
right,
down that energy, that smoke that you got from me. Just directed in the right place, right? Maybe
exactly.
even in the weight room. If you had all that energy and that smoke for me and you put that on the bench press, that might add 20 to 50 pounds to your bench press. So if we frame it that way, then people start saying, you know what, that's right. Because what are you going to gain by fighting and bickering with another teammate?
Yeah,
Now you're causing a rift. Now you're becoming the bad apple out of the bunch. And now it's going to be multiple bad apples. And now this is affecting what we're trying to do. We're trying to win games, go to the playoffs, and win a championship. This is not championship level behavior. So
so I
the
will say, like over here at Conquer High, man, I'm surrounded by amazing coaches: Raynaud, Coddington, Lister. Uh, just the list goes on and on. And actually, Coddington was there when I played and when Lister played, right? But we have this thing where we pride ourselves as the green chain defense, right? Now, when you think about a chain, right? Chain is it's very strong, it's very durable, but only if all the links are connected. Because one broken link, the chain is useless. So that's kind of my philosophy with it. Is like building each other up. We're only as strong as our weakest player. We're only as fast as our slowest player. And like the old saying, there's no I in team, right? But it really comes down to that. Like it has to be approached that way. That we're gonna face everything as a family. And these kids, they don't see it in the beginning, right? In the beginning, like you said, it's individual. It's a couple kids doing good things here and there. But once you're in the trenches together and you guys go through some adversity together, the freshman team that you brought up that freshman year, um, the class of 2025, Jaden's year, there was no freshman, there was no JV, there was only varsity. Okay, so you got 14-year-old boys playing with against 18-year-old men. And I will say this, bro, we had a couple games that you know it was unbearable. It was hard for me to watch these kids take this whooping that they took, right? But the outcome, it created a fire in each and every one of them, right? Which I wanted. I wanted to see that I'm never gonna allow us to feel this again. And that was probably one of the best times that I've got to experience within the team was when those kids made that transition, from that 1-9 team to that 9-2 playoff team the next year. That was them taking those whoopings and being like, you know what, we're not just gonna stand down. We're gonna put in the work, and next year we're not gonna feel this way again.
Yeah, no, that was amazing because I know the turnout, and I've talked to some of the young boys, and they were just like dejected, and they were like, "We completely sucked. We stunk." that
Oh yeah.
1-10 season, and then I saw a completely different fire. I saw that the young men actually had pride going
Yeah.
out there. When you're out there going getting stomped, and then you're playing where some older, older, bigger men are out there. You just seem like, look, man, this I'm out of my league, and hey, I don't really like football that much anyway. You start.
Take the easy way out.
Yeah, it's you start becoming get a rationale, and some kids are like, hey, I want to transfer. Some
Uh,
kids are saying, you know what I mean? So it's
yeah,
a lot
it's
of stuff.
demoralizing, bro, for sure.
It really is demoralizing.
But like,
So
there's only two options at that point: tuck your tail and get out of here, right? Or take each blow, man, bite down on that mouthpiece, man, and keep coming forward. That's all we can do. That's life.
yeah,
Life. The famous Rocky, bro. Like you said, it's not about how hard you can hit; it's about how hard you can get hit and keep getting back up, man. Because if
yeah,
if you think that it's rough football, man, once real life kicks in, bro,
it's yeah.
all kinds of adversity, all kinds of hardship that you gotta
Yeah, you gonna
overcome.
wish you could just get back on the field. So that
Yeah,
so it's always good to let them appreciate that. And this has been a very, very fruitful stream. And like I said, this was just a discussion, and we'll have to do this again because I have more questions, but I don't want to take up too much of your daddy time. So what I'll do right now
appreciate you,
is
brother.
I'll just give you some closing remarks. Just give your shout outs, and after that, I'm gonna shut the stream down. Thank you for coming up. Go ahead and shout out the people that you need to shout out, all who make your coaching, your daddy life, your contribution to society possible.
Yeah. Well, first and foremost, I'm gonna give you that shout out, man, because I tell you what, the community doesn't know this, but you came out, you spent a lot of time on the field with us, filming the kids and putting together some cool stuff for us, and we really appreciate that. And then this interview is huge for me, so I really appreciate you for doing that, man. You're an awesome dude and a great friend. I'm very happy to be surrounded by the great coaching staff that I'm surrounded by. It's been a true blessing to watch these kids grow and make the progress that they made. I'm very happy about next year. I'm excited about it. Looking forward to it. I gotta shout out my wife for sure, bro, because it's a tough gig, man. It takes a lot of time and it's very demanding, but she's been by my side and very supportive and helpful with the kids, man. Because it really does take a village, man. Sometimes, So all we can do is just keep making progress, keep shooting forward. Oh, and quick shout out to the whole Conquer High and the Conquer High community, man, because there's a lot of controversy going on right now. But I think if we just stick together and just keep making progress, everything's gonna turn out just the way it was supposed to.
For sure, man. Thank you. And I was like, man, I know you had to shout out Miss Reger. That was that was unquestioned. But we definitely got to do another episode because, bruh, you are raising a family full of bees. We got Jaden out there killing it on football field, throwing shot put. I'm seeing the girls out there softball, and
Yeah.
one of your other girls looking like the second coming of Caitlin Collins or Stephen Curry out there. You know what I mean?
Hey, we coming for her spot, bro. I'm telling him, calling it right now.
Yeah.
Coming for all those records, man.
Yeah. So man, you on the right path, bruh. So we're gonna go ahead and shut the stream down. This has been Discussions with That Dude with Coach Reger in the building. Signing out.